I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the roll?
Belzak,
Here.
Gustafson, Kenny,
Here.
Legansky,
Here.
Shower,
Here.
Stampanato,
Here.
Sullivan,
Here.
6 present.
We have a quorum. Brings us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. Again, this is an opportunity for anyone in our audience to address the council on any item that may be on the agenda or is not on the agenda. Do you have anything you would like to present, sir?
I do.
Want to come forward and state your name?
Sure. Can I not say my name? Or
Pardon me?
Can I not say my name? Do I need to say my name?
Name only, we don't need address.
You don't need an address.
Okay, my name is Alan. Well, first, good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about the short-term rental ordinance you guys have signed a few months ago. I'm not sure if it's on your agenda today, but I just knew about it. I do have a property in Darien that I rent out, short-term rental. I came into the city a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know about the ordinance was out until I came in, and I was talking to someone in the office. They told me you guys have signed banning the Airbnb short-term rental, anything less than 30 days. So I wrote down something to tell you guys about this. First and foremost, I've been doing the short-term rental in Darien for over 2 years now. I lived in Darien since I moved from Lebanon, 2011. I came into Darien in 2011, and I lived here until 2019. I have 4 kids. I support my mom and dad as well. And I had to move to a bigger house, so I rented my property in Darien as a long-term for a year. They destroyed my property, so I had to flip it to a short-term rental, which has been doing great so far. This is actually my main income stream. And when I heard about this decision that you guys have made, it's actually affecting my life, and it's in jeopardy right now. This is something I need you guys to reconsider, or at least for the people, the small businesses that have been running this business prior to this ordinance coming out. So I would like to talk also about my clients. My clients are the high-end clients. I charge about between $200 and $300 a night. So I'm not bringing any clients to this community. I'm bringing top clients here. They're all out of state. They're all coming to visit family for weddings, for just summertime. So mainly, most of my clients are high-end clients. So I just feel it's not fair to ban the Airbnb and short-term rental. And I'm honestly not sure why you guys have made this decision. It doesn't say on the ordinance, but I also was surprised that on the ordinance there was no clause that maybe we can grandfather in previous businesses or something like that. It wasn't. It was just banning completely with a big fine if someone get caught, between $1,000 and $2,500, and that's definitely not fair. I would like to also mention about the benefits that this business is bringing. Mainly tourism. Like I mentioned, all my clients are from out of state. They're bringing in money to the city. I have a brochure in my house where they can use restaurants, high-end restaurants in Darien. So what they're doing is bringing in money just like any other business. The other thing is, like I mentioned, economic increase for the city. All this money is coming to the city. And I'm a small business. So if you guys ban and stop me from doing my business, who's gonna get the business? The big hotels. The big hotels have a lot of money. I don't think they they care much about few clients just like I do. This is my main income stream, as I mentioned, and it's hard to now let go of all of it and sell my property because of this decision. So lastly, I would like you guys to reconsider, and if we can do an exception for grandfathering in prior businesses, if that's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of the reasons why we dealt with that the way we did is that we had situations where less than 30 days, we had homeowners who were living close to these homes experience damages or disturbances where people would rent it out to have a party for a weekend or a week. And we had one particular situation that was very extreme, from what I understand, where there were parties every night, and these were people who didn't care about the property. You mentioned that you leased out your home for a year, and you had significant damage. Okay, so there are communities like Darien that are following suit, the same as us, where they're limiting. They're basically saying nothing less than 30 days. Some are even going to more extremes where they're saying nothing less than 6 months or something like that. And even some of the hotels are considering putting limits in terms on the length of the stay. So there were very good reasons why we considered that. We had people come to us and tell us about the damage that was going on in their neighborhood because of these very short-term rentals. So it wasn't done to hurt you, it was done because these short-term rentals were impacting other neighborhoods.
Which I completely understand. I'm 100% with you on this, but still, this is one example. I've been running my business, like I mentioned, for over 2 years, and I haven't got to a single complaint from the city or anybody around about my tenants. I understand some of them are doing parties and stuff, but I do not allow parties or events whatsoever in my property. As I have cameras all around, I always monitor my property, so I really would like you to consider maybe an exception for some businesses to keep doing the short-term rental, maybe not 30 days, maybe 15 days. Something to keep me going. Otherwise, I will have to sell my property. And as I mentioned, this is my main income.
Are you getting do you deal in any rentals that are 30 days or more?
No, I do not get a single, I can show you my calendar, not a single client I have more than 30 days. I do have 3 weeks, I have 25 days, but none of them gets to 30 days. And in that way, I'm out of business. I will not rent my property. And there's no way I will go back, do a long-term, because, and I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people don't care about other people's properties. They will damage it, would not care about it. And I cannot go back to long-term because honestly, it won't make any money. If you see how much the taxes are right now around the properties, I'm paying over $8,000 just property tax at my property, plus my mortgage. So how much am I gonna rent for? $3,000, $3,500? My expenses are about $2,500, if not more. So long-term would not make me any benefit. The short-term, when renting 200, 250 a night, yeah, I'll be making about $3-4 grand a month, which is how I keep going. As I mentioned, I have 4 kids to support. Plus my mom and dad, it's hard. So.
I know what to tell you. It was something the council considered. We heard if everyone ran their short-term rentals as effectively as you do, we probably would never have had it come up.
I would think so too.
If we had, everyone was as good about watching who they rented to with the cameras and checking on their property, I don't think we would even have discussed this, but we had, I think it was in your ward, Jerry?
No, it was in.
Tom's.
No, Eric's.
Eric's.
Oh, Eric's, right.
Eric's was the biggest
Yeah,
one.
it was a very bad situation. There were parties all the time.
Cars everywhere, parties.
Yeah, and that kind of ruined it for everybody. That's why we considered it. Plus, there were other complaints. And to be quite honest, other municipalities are imposing these 30-day, nothing less than 30-day. I deal with other mayors, I know what they're dealing with, and they're bringing up the same situation with more examples of damage to neighborhoods because of these less than 30-day rentals. So I don't know if it would be something that we would consider going back on at this point.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. I'm looking for approval of the minutes for August 21st, 2023. Moved by Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderman Legansky. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Abstain?
I have 5 ayes, 1 absent, and 1 abstention.
The minutes have been approved. It takes us to receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications they want to share with the council? Mary?
I had received a communication earlier in August, but I was not at the last meeting, so I wasn't able to share it. But it was from resident Kelly Glisson. There were a couple things in there that I've been able to pass on or get addressed, but the one that he mentioned repetitively was the panhandling that's happening in Darien. And I know this has come up before, but I too have seen, it increase quite a bit, especially at the intersection of Plainfield and Cass and 75th and Cass. So I know we talked about this before. I know Oak Brook tried putting up signs and fining people, but they still come back. I don't know if Chief can share any insight with us on how that can be handled or just, discouraged.
I don't believe so. There's been a Supreme Court decision that allows that to happen, and I think it is what it is. I think there's a problem with safety, with them being so close to traffic, and but we have to follow the law.
So I know the city requires if, like, say the Darien Historical Society or the Lions Club wants to do a tag day, that they have to get a permit. But panhandlers don't have to get a permit?
Correct. It was a case, I think it was right out of Lombard or Lamont. So it's very close to us where the case originated from. And I've talked to this a few times. I'd have to look at my notes, but I can find that statute, or not the statute, the case law in it.
That'd be great if you could share that,
Sure.
Chief. Thank you.
Alderwoman Sullivan, we've also, we've heard that before, so we have had John Murphy. I believe he wrote something up that's in our file somewhere, but basically reiterating what the chief's talking about.
Okay, maybe in a direct connect that can be addressed too. Just, I don't know if that's, something that we could potentially address, because I've heard it from other people aside from Mr. Glisson about the panhandlers. And I just don't think people realize that, it's out of our hands.
I've shared that message with people who've brought it up with me, and they're astounded that we really can't do anything about it. John basically told us, don't even go there, because if you force the issue, you'll lose.
So I just think awareness to the community might be needed, if that's okay. I'm just suggesting.
Anyone else? Okay, that moves us to the mayor's report. There's no mayor's report, the city clerk's report,
No city clerk's report either.
and the city administrator's report.
No report, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
There being nothing, takes us to department head information questions. Any questions for Chief Thomas? Anything you want to share, Greg?
No, but not tonight anyway. But the most of the data that we were able to get, and it's been since 2019, is finally available. And so we'll be bringing back the monthly report at the next meeting.
Anything for Mr. Gombeck? Yeah.
Yeah, just real briefly, I'd like to present an update in regards to the Plainfield and Cass Avenue corner. Obviously, there's been a lot of frustration from staff's end, and we're hoping to see the final plans, stamped and engineered plans, this week yet, and we're hoping to have construction, concrete in the ground by next week. Again, it's been a very frustrating situation. There's a lot of logistics that have been involved, but I do want to assure the city council and the public that we are diligently working on this.
Any updates on the Commonwealth Edison's work on the crosswalks or the light at 67?
Let's see, today, believe it or not, we were given an invoice for the Clarendon Hills Road pedestrian signals at the Hinsdale South. I've been going back and forth, and the counsel for ComEd said that is not part of the franchise agreement, so we were subject to an $880 bill, in which I had paid for today through one of our credit card services to expedite that for the safety of the students in front of Hinsdale South High School. The other one at Community Park is another fiasco, I'll call it. It's been in ComEd's hands for approximately 6 weeks now, and they've come back and told me that additional transformer is required due to the service transformer that's currently on there. So short of logistical technical issues, I'm waiting for ComEd for another invoice potentially, along with additional equipment. 67th and Clarendon Hills Road, I wish I can give you a better timeline. Unfortunately, I can't tell you that I have personally been working on this for over a year now with ComEd. And it's very, very frustrating to see them out there one day and then they're off for a week due to weather conditions. There is some scheduled power outages that will need to happen because of the proximity of the one more new pole or two poles that need to get set there. I would not be surprised if we don't see that signal activated until October at this point. And then the city has to come in there and put additional stop bars for the striping, because we could not put the stop bars in there because the signals are not working. So again, just a lot of frustration on our end.
Anything else for Dan?
Patience, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate that.
Takes us to our treasurer's report. Mike, the warrant.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this evening I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 232409 in the amount of $321,291.68 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended August 24th in the amount of $304,682.25 for a total to be approved of $625,973.93.
Motion to approve, Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
We have 3 monthly reports. Treasurer's going to read the latest report. Mike?
Yes, the revenue and expenditure report for the 3 months ended July 31st. General fund year-to-date revenue of $5,833,939. Expenditures of $4,440,396 for a current balance of $5,769,062. Water fund year-to-date revenue of $1,164,986. Expenses of $1,500,803. Current balance of $3,258,443. Motor fuel tax fund year-to-date revenue of $257,280. Expenses of $161,390. Current balance of $1,570,001. Water depreciation fund year-to-date revenue of $5,225. Expenses of $9,341. Current balance of $609,122. Capital improvement fund year-to-date revenue of $218,831. Expenses of $1,608,212. Current balance of $17,378,955. Cannabis use fund year-to-date revenue of $9,755. Current balance of $103,301.
Thank you, Mike. Takes us to standing committee reports. Do the chairman have any reports they'd like to mention? Alderman Belzak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will be on September 25 at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Alderwoman Sullivan?
The next Administrative Finance Committee meeting will be on October 2nd at 6 p.m. in the upstairs conference room. And as Treasurer Korn indicated earlier, we had quite a packed meeting this evening with the presentation by our auditors, and we will be anticipating the actuary for the Police Pension Fund to attend our October 2nd meeting.
Thank you. Alderman Kenny?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Police Committee will meet on September 18th at 6 p.m. across the street in the police training room, pending agenda items.
And I'd like to mention that our next Darien Community Action Team meeting will be Saturday, September 16th at the Indian Prairie Library from 10 till 12 noon. Takes us to questions and comments, agenda related. We have no one in the audience, so I'll move on to old business. There being none, we move to consent agenda. We have two items. Item A, consideration of a motion to approve the expenditure of budgeted funds to purchase professional consulting services from Testing for Public Safety, LLC, to establish a sergeant promotional eligibility list in the amount of $10,100. Item B, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of one DJI Matrix 30T with Care Enterprise Plus drone and 4 battery packs from Aerial Influence LLC using Department of Justice award money in the amount of $10,295. Motion to approve. Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderman Belzak. And the roll.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
Consent agenda is approved. We moves us to new business. We have one item. Consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the County of DuPage for a 50/50 cost share of a right-of-way enhancement project at the southeast corner along Plainfield Road from Cass Avenue to Linden Avenue and Cass Avenue to the side yard limit of 7614 Gale Avenue. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Discussion. If none, the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The item has been approved. We move to questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. Do any of the aldermen have anything they'd like to share with the council? Mary?
I just want to give a special shout out to April Padillac and the city staff for a great concert series this summer. I mean, the finale one last Thursday was outstanding. A packed crowd. Mother Nature was great. People really enjoyed. People even lingered afterwards. The food trucks, everything was just spot on. And I'm just so pleased that this concept has really come to fruition. I know that the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Food Pantry, and thanks to the support of the Darien Women's Club who staff it, are very grateful for the donations that people bring. Every can, every box of mac and cheese makes a difference. So thank you for that. And then lastly, September 16th, the Darien Historical Society and St. John Lutheran Church are going to have their annual cemetery walk, and over at the St. John Cemetery, and it starts promptly at 1 o'clock with presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. But it looks like it's, I've attended before, I'm sure many others have, but if you haven't, it's extremely informative, entertaining, fascinating. From a Civil War reenactment, bake sale, you get to see the prairie grounds that the Illinois Natural Heritage Landmark has installed, and it's just really fascinating, and it's right here in our backyard. So I encourage everybody to take advantage of that. You don't have to stay the whole time. I mean, it's like I don't want to say it's an open house; it's an open graveyard, but even if you can pop in for 30 minutes, I think it'd be well worth your time.
I'd like to mention that on September 28th, the Darien Historical Society is also sponsoring a seminar at the Indian Prairie Library, the crash of flight, I think it's 459, which took place back in 1969 at the corner of, I believe it was 63rd and Clarendon Hills Road. It's being done in conjunction with other historical organizations. It should be a real interesting presentation. And then I'd like to also mention that on September 23rd, the Darien Lions Club, in conjunction with the city, will be holding our first annual Oktoberfest. And there's been a lot of planning involved in this. There'll be fun activities for families. There'll be music. There'll be food. It really looks like it's going to be a great event for the city. We're hoping to get good weather. I think that's the only factor that could impact this in a negative way. So that is on September 23rd from 2 to 9. Anyone else? If none, motion to adjourn. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Stompanato. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.